Sorare, known to some on the show as Sorare, incorrectly, I will note.
Thank you.
Has inked a deal with the English Premier League, which is one of the best soccer leagues in the world. This is like adding to their roster of soccer leagues that are involved with this platform. It's an NFT platform in which users acquire or get free NFTs. They place them in various lineups, in various competitions, and they play a game, right? It's not just for collecting the NFTs for the sake of collecting. It's for doing so to play fun stuff. So anyway, Premier League is signing on. According to some reports, including the Financial Times, there is an option in this deal for the Premier League to take a stake in Sorare, which had been valued at something like $4.6 billion at its last funding round. So yeah, potentially quite interesting for the Premier League, one of the best leagues in soccer, to be on board with this, and potentially at a time when broader interest in the crypto markets are down. So anyway, I think I'm bullish on Sorare because it is, again, doing stuff. But let's toss this to the group and see what the thoughts are. Jen, what are you thinking on this one?
I just want to say the blog post that made this announcement didn't reference an NFT once, which is this ongoing trend that we're seeing for these mainstream NFT projects, right? We saw that with Reddit. Now we're seeing that again here. These are digital sports cards that you can use to create your fantasy football or fantasy soccer teams, which I think is really interesting that this is happening during a bear market, right? I think that if they had gone the route of calling it an NFT and explaining all of the technical jargon behind it, they wouldn't be able to attract that mainstream sports fan the same way they can if they just explained the value in having these digital collectibles to represent your fantasy sports team that you are already creating. So I think that this was just a great job in communications. Will, what do you think?
Yeah, I've been playing way too much Fortnite lately, which I haven't done in like a few years. And guess what? You can buy these little thing called skins on the game and buy a battle pass. And it doesn't do anything. It just changes like the color of your character. You can get like an afro, or you can have like a jetpack on your backpack. And guess who makes money from it? Epic, the game behind everything, right? They purchase all this, they make all this possible. And you, just the user, buy it for $8 a month. And you have a product there and you like using it because you're playing your game. And your character has like a cool color or like a cool jacket on, and you just enjoy it. And that's how I see this sort of product, right? Where it doesn't really do much or add much. There's not a lot of utility in it. It's not like I'm eating a banana. It's not like Bitcoin. I'm moving money around the world. It's just like something I want to have on my phone, and I'm just using it. And okay, I'll spend money on it. So that's how I look at these things. The one thing I want to draw out here is the number, right? It says $4 billion valuation as of September, with a $660 million raise from a lot of different funds, including SoftBank. And that, to me, is just nuts. So my Denver Broncos here in Denver, Colorado, just sold over the summer for about $4 billion. It's one of 30 NFL teams, huge legacy. Like, it's crazy to think of like that being a $4 billion institution that has been building for about 75 years at this point. And then Sorare comes out of nowhere and has a $4 billion valuation just based on the fact that you can buy your favorite logo or favorite jersey for your team and keep it on your phone. Just weird to think about that. Zach, I'll throw it up to you.
I just want to go back just briefly, very obscure reference. Do you remember that one story that came out where someone said that a DAO was going to bid on the Denver Broncos? That definitely did not materialize, but I remember that was floated at one point while the Broncos were for sale. Anyway, I want to go to the data because I think it is illuminating about the Sorare story, right? So, we mentioned that it's NFTs not just for the sake of trading and flipping NFTs, it's NFTs for the sake of popping it into lineups and having fun with these various competitions, right? I think that's sort of reflected in the data. So according to Crypto Slam, Sorare clocked something like $23 million in sales for the month of January 2023 alone. And I think the interesting thing to me is that the average sale price in dollar terms was $41, right? So these are not big ticket NFTs. These are fans of teams and or just soccer fans who are using these to again build lineups and play something, right? Similar to the Fortnite example, where it's enabling that experience rather than sort of the Top Shot experience, which is collect and the fun is in the flipping, right? I guess that would traditionally apply to like the trading card market as well. This, as build, is more like fantasy football, fantasy soccer, and I think they are seeing some success with that, as evidenced by their ability to onboard new leagues, right? Their name is all over La Liga, which is the big Spanish league. They're all over the world in terms of the various partners that they have. They even inked, I think, Major League Baseball and like NBA, but I think those have seen less uptick in terms of interest. So anyway, for the soccer fan, this is an expansion of the leagues that they're working with, and I think it's really interesting to see. Anyway, Jen, I think I saw your hand, maybe? Yeah.
You did. Well, I have a question for you. So in Will's Fortnite example, we talk about these digital items you can play with in games are not really worth anything. And we compared those to these cards. Is there a world in which these cards, or maybe the teams that are created with these cards, can turn into some kind of financial instrument or something that you own and can trade? Do we have any more information about this, or are these just representing the players?
Well, I mean, if the player is really good and he helps you win a game, like he sort of like accrues value, right? And so I think you go to the marketplace and you see this, hey, I'm really, really smart, and like I'm speculating on the next Lionel Messi. And if I buy him now at 0.01 ETH, maybe down the road I can max that investment when someone comes and says, oh, I really want this new Lionel Messi on my team to win these games that I care about. So I think there is obviously that financial aspect, and that's why they've run into a little bit of regulatory questioning around whether this is gambling or whether there's other issues that French and English regulators are very curious about. So there is certainly the financial sort of incentive and impetus behind this thing, but it's attached to sort of gameplay, the traditional like fantasy football stuff we've seen rolled out by Yahoo and CBS Sports for decades now. So it does add sort of a bit of financialization to an existing product that we see in the world of Web 2. Anyway, Wendy, what's up?
I think that it's just trading baseball cards or trading, any types of sports cards that people did like back in the day. And it's just a more civilized way to do so in 2023. Also, to you guys, we're not allowed to mispronounce anything or have any type of fun on the show. That is 100% illegal, okay? It's fun.
We took Sorare and we made it spicy. Sorare.
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 Like Target.
All right. Like Target, the best big box store.